ಆದಕಾದತಕ ವಶಾಗೆ ಮಾಮಾ ಹೌಲಾ ಸೀದಾ ಗುಳುಂ ಹುರಿ ಪಲಿತ ಮಿಗುತುಂ ಕೇಂ ಬೊಯ್ಮುಗೆ ನುರಂಗಳು ಆದತಕ ಹೆಲಿಫೆಲಿವೆಗಳು ಮದೂಮಾ ದುಂಫತ್ ಕೇಸ್ತಿಮಾಲ್ ಕುರುಂ ಅದಿ ರಾಬುಯಿಂ ಫದ ಆದಕಾದತಂ ಹಿಮೆನೆ
Making headlines this hour, the president commends mothers as the real heroes behind global progress and success, highlighting their pivotal role in shaping society. International flights to Maldives increases in the first 3 months of this year, coinciding with the surge in tourist arrival numbers during the period. And Palestinians in Khan Yunis mourns people killed in an Israeli strike in Al-Mawasi area, which hit tents sheltering displaced Palestinians.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz commends mothers as the real heroes behind global progress and success, highlighting their pivotal role in shaping society. In a statement shared on social media to mark International Mother's Day, the president extended his congratulations and reflected on the profound contributions of maternal figures. Mother's Day, he said, serves as a solemn reminder of the most valuable sacrifice, maternal love. He described mothers as the driving force behind the world's achievements and expressed good wishes for the occasion, calling it a joyful day. The annual observance highlights the immeasurable impact of mothers in shaping future generations. Their unwavering love and deep familial bonds, the president noted, form the foundation of a strong and resilient nation. Yet, for many mothers, the day also underscores ongoing challenges. President Muiz's administration acknowledges the difficulties faced by single mothers, reaffirming its commitment to easing their burdens. As part of this effort, the president had pledged to increase government allowances, providing greater financial support to those in need. First Lady Sajida Muhammad reaffirms the essential role of love, care, and proper guidance in shaping the lives of children, underscoring that ensuring their well-being is a collective duty shared by the entire community. Marking National Children's Day on the 10th of May, she issued a statement on social media stressing that the most fundamental needs of children are the affection and support provided by adults alongside the guidance necessary to help them navigate their formative years. Her focus on child welfare extends beyond public messaging. That same day, she inaugurated the Maldives' first National Juvenile Justice Conference, where she addressed the urgent need for intervention in cases involving children who have violated laws and regulations. She stressed that timely support is critical, ideally before they become entangled in judicial proceedings. The First Lady's engagement in child advocacy also includes ongoing consultations with international and governmental agencies as well as non-governmental organizations. She has worked closely with global entities such as the United Nations Children's Fund or UNICEF, reinforcing initiatives aimed at strengthening support systems and advancing protections for children. The Maldives welcomes the announcement of an immediate ceasefire between India and Pakistan, calling it a crucial step towards stability in South Asia. Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Khalil praised the decision, commending the leadership of both nations for prioritizing diplomacy over continued hostilities. In a statement shared on social media, Dr. Khalil wrote, "I welcome the announcement of an immediate ceasefire between India and Pakistan. We commend the leadership of both countries for choosing the path of peace and dialogue and for taking steps towards regional stability." The ceasefire agreement was announced by United States President Donald Trump, who confirmed that India and Pakistan had reached an understanding to halt the exchange of attacks. His statement marked a significant development in efforts to ease tensions between the two nations, widely regarded as South Asia's principal powers. Pressure to de-escalate had been mounting, with diplomatic efforts underway to mediate the situation. The United States and China, among others, had urged both sides to halt hostilities and prioritize dialogue. The Maldives 2.0 Digital Transformation Summit saw stakeholders discuss crucial changes needed to transform the present system as part of the efforts to digitize the entire country. The summit, which was attended by various government agencies and companies, will take important decisions on digitalization of the island nation. The three-day summit is attended by 200 delegates from various state agencies and institutions. Of these, 50 delegates represent the private sector. Estonian experts are also participating in the summit, sharing resources and knowledge on Estonia's globally renowned digital system of governance. As many as 10 key papers were presented during the summit, highlighting the work done by each participating agency at present, along with the challenges they face. The summit also included panel discussions and a question and answer session on each of these papers. Some of the sessions during the summit shared on the Maldives 2.0 or the government's digitalization vision and its core principles. In addition, papers were presented on the extent to which the government has digitized various areas of service delivery to the people. These include the work done and planned in the health, education, and finance sectors. Additionally, agencies like the National Center for Information Technology, or NCIT, and the Department of National Registration, or DNR, shared their work on digital and identity card processes. The National Cybersecurity Agency also shared the key steps being implemented to ensure safety and security. Ministers of state, heads of companies and agencies, mandate of the technical sector. Speaking during the summit, Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, President Dr. Mohammad Muiz's national vision for digital transformation. The project aims to work together with all the institutions of the state to take the Maldives towards revolutionary digital transformation and reform. The project will be implemented over the next 3 years to bring to life the government's digital transformation policy. International flights to Maldives increases in the first 3 months of this year, coinciding with the surge in tourist arrival numbers during the period. According to the Maldives Monetary Authority, or MMA, a total of 4,880 flights were operated by international airlines in the first 3 months of this year, in comparison to the 4,628 during the same period last year, posting an increase of 5.4%. The airlines operated 4,444 scheduled flights to Maldives during the period. There were 4,141 scheduled flights during the same period last year, marking an increase of 7.3% so far this year. However, general flights movements have decreased in the first 3 months of the year, according to the central bank figures. The general flights movements recorded in the first quarter stood at 436 as opposed to 487 during the same period last year. According to the Ministry of Tourism, 866,462 tourists arrived in Maldives as of May, marking an 8% increase over the previous year. On average, 6,877 tourists visit Maldives daily, according to the ministry's tourism statistics. Bank of Maldives, or BML, launches the country's first BML student debit card. According to BML, the student card, designed to help children learn practical money management skills and give them a sense of independence, is available for children aged 7 and above. The bank said that parents can send money, guide spending, manage the card functions, and through this experience, teach children important financial habits from a young age. The card is issued as a Visa debit card, has zero fees, and can be used for both local and international transactions. It also offers a first-of-its-kind benefit for children with an annual rebate of 0.5% on the total amount spent using the card. The rebate provided at the end of the year will be automatically credited to the child's savings account, allowing for smart saving even while spending. BML CEO and Managing Director Muhammad Sharif said the BML student card is designed to equip students with the tools to manage their finances responsibly long before they reach adulthood. The card features two designs, one for children aged 7 to 12 and the other for those aged 13 to 17. Parents can apply for a student card from the BML mobile banking app, through which they will also have access to the card management features such as freezing and unfreezing cards, blocking or changing PIN. For added security, one-time password or OTP verifications for online or high-value transactions will also be sent to the parent's registered mobile number. U.S. President Donald Trump hails talks with China in Switzerland on Saturday, May 10th, saying the two sides had negotiated a total reset in a friendly but constructive manner.
Posting on his Truth Social platform, Trump added, quote, "We want to see, for the good of both China and the U.S., an opening up of China to American business. Great progress made," unquote. He did not elaborate on the progress. A source close to the discussion said earlier top U.S. and Chinese officials wrapped up the first day of talks in Geneva aimed at diffusing a trade war that threatens to hammer the global economy and plan to resume negotiations on May 11th. Neither side made any statements afterwards about the substance of the discussions nor signaled any specific progress towards reducing crushing tariffs as meetings at the residence of Switzerland's ambassador to the UN concluded.
Palestinians in Khan Yunis mourns people killed in an Israeli airstrike in Al-Masawi area, which hit tents sheltering displaced Palestinians, according to relatives of the victims.
Crying over the loss of her son, Jamil Al-Alami said he was sleeping along with his wife and children while they were sleeping. Israel resumed its offensive in March after the collapse of a U.S.-backed ceasefire that had halted fighting for 2 months. It has since imposed an aid blockade, drawing warnings from the UN that the 2.3 million population faces imminent famine. Israel's genocide has killed more than 52,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, according to Hamas-run health authorities, and reduced much of Gaza to ruins. According to Israeli tallies, the war began on October 7, 2023, when Hamas killed 1,200 people and took 251 hostages.
Russian President Vladimir Putin proposes direct talks with Ukraine on May 15th in Istanbul that he said should be aimed at achieving a durable peace and eliminating the root causes of the war.
Putin sent thousands of troops into Ukraine in February 2022, triggering the gravest confrontation between Russia and the West since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. He said that Russia was proposing direct talks with Ukraine in Istanbul in an attempt to eliminate the root causes of the conflict and to achieve the restoration of a long-term, lasting peace. Major European powers threw their weight behind an unconditional 30-day Ukraine ceasefire on Saturday with the backing of U.S. President Donald Trump and threatened Putin with massive new sanctions if he did not accept within days. Trump, who says he wants to be remembered as a peacemaker, has repeatedly said he wants to end the bloodbath of the Russo-Ukrainian war, which his administration casts as a proxy war between the United States and Russia. Former U.S. President Joe Biden, Western European leaders, and Ukraine cast the invasion as an imperial-style land grab and repeatedly vowed to defeat Russian forces. Putin casts the war as a watershed moment in Moscow's relations with the West, which he says States humiliated Russia after the Soviet Union fell in 1991 by enlarging NATO and encroaching on what he considers Moscow's sphere of influence, including Ukraine.
Ukraine and European leaders agreed to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire on May 12 with the backing of U.S. President Donald Trump, threatening President Vladimir Putin with massive new sanctions if he failed to comply.
The announcement was made by the leaders of Britain, France, Germany, Poland, and Ukraine after a meeting in Kiev, after which they held a phone call with Trump. The U.S. leader, who wants a rapid peace, has not commented publicly on the course of action. Following through on the threat would be a dramatic sign of growing Western unity after months of unpredictable U.S. policy that has seen Trump tear up the approach of his predecessor since entering the White House in January.
And so all of us here, together with the US, are calling Putin out. If he's serious about peace, then he has a chance to show it now by extending the VE-Day pause into a full, unconditional 30-day ceasefire, with negotiations to follow immediately once a ceasefire is agreed. No more ifs and buts, no more conditions and delays. Putin didn't need conditions when he wanted a ceasefire to have a parade, and he doesn't need them now.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told reporters at the news conference after their talks that he and the visiting leaders agreed on May 12 there must start an unconditional ceasefire. He added that it should cover air, sea, and land, and said that if Moscow refused, it would face new sanctions, including the strengthening of punitive measures targeting its energy and banking sectors. Macron said provided the ceasefire was to go ahead, it would be monitored mainly by the United States and European countries would contribute. He added there would be massive sanctions if Russia did not agree. The European leaders said the terms of a peace deal would be negotiated during the 30-day pause in fighting. On the eve of the summit, the U.S. Embassy in Kiev warned of a potentially significant air attack in the coming days and told its citizens to be ready to seek shelter in the event of air raid sirens. The visit falls on the final day of a May 8-10 ceasefire declared by Putin that Ukraine did not accept, denouncing it as a sham. Both sides have accused each other of violating it.
Australian Lucas Herbert owes his first Asian Tour title on Sunday, May 11th, to an impulse buy in South Korea last week. Herbert picked up a second-hand putter at a thrift shop, according to reports on the tour, and after using it in a Pro-Am round before the International Series Japan tournament, decided to put it in the bag.
Herbert holed 7 birdies and an eagle with his new putter as he stormed a 5-shot victory at the Caledonian Golf Club in Chiba. Yugun Song of South Korea and Japan's Yuta Sugiura had held the overnight lead with Herbert but couldn't match his final round 64 as they finished tied for second. American Cameron Tringale forced his way into 4th with a 5-under par 66, just 1 shot ahead of Thailand's Atiruj Winnai Charonchai.
I didn't even really have intentions of... I picked it up last week thinking I might take it home and muck around with it in the off weeks, and sort of shot Pewee a look early in the week, like, do you feel like just throwing it in and giving it a go? So put a grip on it. It magically was in my spec already from the store. I don't know how, but yeah, threw a grip on it, started putting, and I think I texted my coach in the Pro-Am with a photo of it going, you know, this thing's pretty good. So yeah, it's definitely been a big part of why I'm standing here in front of you this week.
Herbert picked up a check for $360,000 and told reporters the putter is most likely going to stay in the bag after that performance.
Bongokule Longwane, Anthony Markanic, and Robin Lod each scored goals to lead Minnesota United to a 4-1 victory over Inter Miami on May 10th afternoon in St. Paul.
On the turn, good strength from him this time. Robin Lod
Minnesota 6-2-4, 22 points, won its second consecutive MLS match and third in a row across all competitions. The Loons handed Inter Miami 6-2-3, 21 points, its most lopsided loss in league play this season. Miami played without forward Luis Suarez, who did not make the trip due to personal reasons, and without left winger Fafa Picol due to illness. Lionel Messi scored his sixth goal this season in MLS play 3 minutes into the second half to cut Miami's deficit at the time to 2-1. Messi struck when he took a feed from Jordi Alba in the box and quickly redirected the ball into the back of the net near the back post. But disaster struck later in the second half for Inter Miami when Marcelo Weigand tried to head away a corner kick by Minnesota's Joaquin Pereira, but unintentionally tapped the ball into his own goal to push the Loons' edge to 3-1 in the 68th minute. Moments later, Minnesota took advantage of the momentum swing on a brilliant play by Tani Oluwaseyi, who beat his defender and delivered a perfect cross to Lod. As he came racing up the middle of the field, Lod fired a shot past Inter Miami goalkeeper Oscar Ustari to stretch the lead to 3 in the 70th minute. Minnesota scored on set pieces twice. The first came just before halftime on a throw-in from Michael Boxall. The long toss was headed across the front of the goal by Nicolas Romero to the back post. Marcanic positioned himself under the ball quickly and headed it past Ustari in the second minute of first half stoppage time to give Minnesota a 2-0 lead. Longwane scored Minnesota's first goal in the 32nd minute off assists from Carlos Harvey and Pereira, who drew 3 Miami defenders away from the goal and fed the ball to Harvey in space. Harvey then sent the ball forward quickly to Longwane, who snuck it past Ustari.
In an unusual discipline, Germany's best tilers compete for a top spot in the European Championships hosted by Denmark in September.
The participants of the German national tiling team had 27 hours to demonstrate their extraordinary skills. The winner will secure a place in the European Championships. The task, a counter with a motif of Lake Kimsey, complete with a sailing boat and mountain panorama, had to be tiled with precision. The participants included some of the very best in the trade, including Louis Braune from North Rhine-Westphalia, who secured the title of German runner-up in 2023, and the 2023 German champion Philipp Schlegel, 23, from Saxony-Anhalt. The national tiling team was founded in the 1980s to make the profession more attractive. At the European Championships in Denmark in September, the winner of the qualifying tournament at Chiemsee will face strong competition. According to Bayer, the teams from Austria, Switzerland, and the host country Denmark are considered the favorites. The exact task will only be announced on the first day of the competition, which demands maximum flexibility and skill from the participants under time pressure.
That's all the news we have for today. We will be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.
ರೈಸುಲ್ ಜುಮ್ಹೂರಿಯಾಗೆ ಒಫಿಹಾ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಗುಳಿಗೆನ್ ಕುರಿಯದ್ದ ಫೋರಂ ಆಹಾ ಮಿ ಫೋರಂಗ ರೈತುನ್ನ ಬದ್ದಲ್ ಕುರವಾಣಿ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೋಮ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅಲಿ ಇಹ್ಸಾನ್, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಡ್ಯುಕೇಷನ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ಮಾಯಿಲ್ ಶಫೀವ್, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಶರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಓಷನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಹ್ಮದ್ ಶಿಯಾಮ್, ಅಟಾರ್ನಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಅಲ್-ಉಸ್ತಾಜ್ ಅಹ್ಮದ್ ಉಶಾಮ್, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮರಿಯಂ ಮಾರಿಯಾ, ಬಜೀರುನ್ನ ಅತಿಯಬೇಫ್ಲುಂ ಕುರವ್ವಂ ಬೇಣು ಫುಳುವಾ ಎವ್ವೆ ಸುವಾಲಂ ಎಣ್ಣಮ PSM ಎಯಾ ಮೆದುರಿಕು ಸುವಾಲು ಕುರವ್ವ ಮಿ ಫೋರಂ ಒಣ್ಣಾಣಿ ಮೇಮಹುಗೆ ಬಾರವಾ ಹೋಮ ದುವಹುಗೆ ರೇ ನುವಗಡ್ಡಿ ಸುಮ್ಮಿನಟುಗ TVN ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಗ
PSM Lens इंसानियत पुरा खिदमई हिले साबा कुरा मसेक्के शर्फ वेरी मसेक्कते खिदमत के अगवजन को दिनो खिदमत तेरी फराते होवं खिदमत तेरी फरात का दे अवार्ड
मी शो के जरिया इन वत मी अवार्ड के जरिया इन मुस्तमा खिदमत कुरमा हिवर वस तबाय का लिबगंदाने कमोगे यागिन खंगाल वंडंगे बे
PSM Lens
PSM ಗೆ ಟಿವಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತಕ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಮಿಹಾರು PSM ಎಯಾ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ತಿಯ ಬೇಫ್ಲುನ್ನ ಹಿಲೆ ಬಲಾಲೆವೇನೆ ಅದಿ ಅಡುವ ಹಾಲೆವೇನೆ ದುನಿಯೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ತಾಗುಹುರೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗಡಿಯಕು PSM ಗೆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಬಲಾಲುಮ ಅವಹ PSM ಎಯಾ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರವ್ವ ಮಿಹಾರು ಆಪ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಉನ್ನ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಇಂವೆಸ್ ಮಿ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕೊಲ್ಲವೇನೆ
ಗೌಮಿ ಇನಾಮ್ ದೆಹಾಸ್ ಫನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮೀ ದಿವಿ ಹಿರಯ್ಯತುನ್ನ ದಿವಿ ಹಿರಯ್ಯತುಂ ಉಫದ್ದವಾಫವಾ ಮದನಿ ಮುಅಸ್ಸಸಾತಕುಂ ಕುರಾ ಮಸಕ್ಕೆತ್ತಕ ಹೋದಾ ಕಾಮಿಯಾಬಿ ತಕುಗೆ ಅಗುವಜಂ ಕುರುಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತುಂ ಗೌಮಿ ಫೆಮರುಗ ದಿವಿ ಹಿ ದೌಲತ್ಗೆ ಫರಾತುನ್ ರೈಸು ಜುಮ್ಹೂರಿಯಾ ದೆವ್ವಾ ಶರಫಿರಿಕಂಗೆ ಗೌಮಿ ಇನಾಮ ಹಿವ್ವರು ದಿನುಮುಗೆ ಗೌಮಿ ಇನಾಮ್ ಗೌಮಿ ಇನಾಮಂಗೆ ದೆ ಫೋಮಾ ಐಕುಗ ಹುಷಾಳಂ ಜೆಹೆ ತಕೆತಿ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಮೆದುರಿಕೊಂ ಹುಷಾಳಾನಿ apply.presidency.gov.mv ಲಿಯುಮು ಹುಷಾಳಾ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹುಷಾಳಾನಿ ರೈಸು ಜುಮ್ಹೂರಿಯಾಗೆ ಒಫೀಹುಗೆ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇನಾಮಂಗೆ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹುಷಾಳೇನಿ ಒಣತಿರಿಸ್ ಮೇ ದೆಹಾಸ್ ಫನ್ಸವಿಸ್ವಾ ಬುರಾಸ್ಫತಿ ದೂಹುಗೆ ಮೆಂದುರುಫಹು ದೇಗಡಿ ಸುಮಿನೆಟ್ಗೆ ಕುರಿಂ ಇತುರ್ ಮಾಲೂಮಾತ್ ಹೋದುಮಕ್ ಗುಳಾನಿ ತಿನೆ ಹಾಯ್ದೇನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಫೋನ ನುವತ ತಿನೆ ತಿನೆಂ ಹತೆ ಸುಮೆಂ ಎಕೆನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಫೋನ ನುವತ ಹತೆ ನುವೆಂ ಹಯೆ ಸುಮೆಂ ಅಶೆಂ ಹತರೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಫೋನ ಗೌಮಿ ಇನಾಮ್ ದೆಹಾಸ್ ಫನ್ಸವಿಸ್
ಸಾಧಸ್ತೇಕ ಸಾಲಿಸ್ ಹವನಹರುಗೆ ಹಜ್ಜು ಕವರೇಜ್ ದಿವೆ ಹಜ್ಜಾಜಿಂಗೆ ಅಳುಕಮುಗೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಕಂಕಮುಗೆ ಮೌದೂಮಾತ್ ಹಜ್ಜಾಜಿಂಗೆ ಹಾಲು ಅಹ್ವಾಲು ಹಜ್ಜುಗೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಮನಾಸಿಕ್ತಕ ಅರಫಾತು ಖುತುಬಾ ಹಜ್ಜಾಗುಳೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಮೌದೂಮಾತ ಹಜ್ಜಾ ಗುಳಿಗೆ ಎಂಗಂಜಿಹೆ ದೀನಿ ಮಾಲೂಮಾತ ಇರುಷಾತ ವಗುತ ಏಗೆ ತಫ್ಸೀಲಾಯಕಿ PSM News
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम दुनिया कलिगा मोलिंग आ प्रोग्राम टीवी बल्लम मदहामिया की गा रेडियो नोड सुमगंदवा हुरी हफरात का मरहबा दनवा कलिगा मी प्रोग्राम की गाती बेफना में बदल कोल्ली अगम मुसाफिर मी प्रोग्राम की मी एरेगा बन लगवा में मशरूम फाह को लेवे मुहिम कंकम ग मचा बलाला अल में तैयार को गेंस्ट हास प्रोग्राम में उदगे प्रोग्राम के मौलुआ की मी इथियोपिया अलावा हुती ना हंगुराम को इस्राएल रेवु मी मौलु ग मचा तिबेफना हिसाब में उदगे प्रोग्राम का इतुर मालूमात हिस्सा को लमदाने अल मिना की गा इनलिस्ट को का मेद प्रोग्राम में बैरने मोहम्मद जवाद जवाब प्रोग्राम मरहबा तो पर तफात मौलू दे में में मौलू की में को तन फतम सवाल की इथियोपिया या इस्राएल के गुणन तगोते मिहार कोंगो तकतो
बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू आदि इथियोपिया की अफ्रीका बदार बोडो गाँव में आबादी को तुम्हें 7 मिलियन वगैरह आबादी बोडो अनेक कोलों अफ्रीका के इत्तेहाद के मरकज़ सुननी इथियोपिया का आदि इथियोपिया की मिहार अफ्रीका का कुरियर मन नगाम तोगे तेरे के मैंने और 12 कुरियर मन नगाम तोगे तेरे ही मैंने गाँव में इन्हों से इथियोपिया के बहुरी और बढ़ती मस्से तो ये तो एक तेरे की इथियोपिया एथनिक ग्रुप तोगे मस्से तक आगुड़ के दाखिली हम आदि तेरे को दाखिली हंगुरामता कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तफेशे आदि एक तंग इथियोपिया की रिसोर्स वर मधु गाँव में फकीरों के निस्बत वर गीना आदि हम एक मी खंडा एवस काल एक्सेस से नींद है एम मी क्या लैंड लॉक गाँव तक हो रहता है तो बेदी फहुन ना गाँव तक एक तेरे गाँव में इथियोपिया की दें इथियोपिया एक कोई बमसे करे वार बड़ा गाँव तक का गोली गेंगे मी होंगे तरक्की लनुदन तक हासिल करो वार बड़ा मसे करे दें एक तेरे इस्राएल से बने वादिफा एक तो इस्राएल आए से भाई 100 गुणों तक खास को दंडवेरी कमुगा इस्राएल बुरी कुरियर तक होदा एम इस्राएल तंत्रम मी नुफूज फोरो मी बेन कुरनी मी इस्राएल गुणों नगल कुरीमा अमेरिका के तेरिंग कंकम एक्सेसवा वेस एक्सेस वे इंगे तो नोने अमेरिका के रुहुंगे बलिबे आदि होलों के कुंफुनी तक मी यहूदीन के नुफूज होरी कुंफुनी तक मी तंतनो ගේ නුෆූදා එක්ක බයික්කා කන්තතක මගුෆයිවේ මිසාලක මේ වෝල්ඩ් බැංකුන් ලෝන් නග IMF ලෝන් නග වියස් මේ ඉස්රායලුගේ මස්ලහතු ඒකමගේ තිරේ කොමසවරක වන්නකම වේ එවිජියා ඉස්රායල ගුණතරංගල කොෆා මේ ඉස්රායල් ගේ මේ ලොබි ගෲප් තකුන් එකම ප්‍රෙෂර් කුරීමා මිකා කන්තතකස් මගුෆයිවේ ගේතෝ දෙන් අදේගේ ඉතුරුම වෙස් එබහුරි බයික්කා කන්තත්තව ඉන්සානේ හග්ගොතක මිකා කන්තත්තව හොලොංග ෆාඩු කියුන් තන්නේ රුගේ ඉස්රායල ගුණ රංගලියයි ෆාඩු කියුන් තකේ නානානේ එංගොස්සේ ගෞමතක බයික්කාලා මේ එමිහුන්ගේ මේ ආකේ කි කන්තත්ත එක මේ බයනලකවාමි ෆෙම්වර්ග ખાસකම් හොලොං ගෞමතකුන් මේ බයික් කන්තත්තව කුරිමත් කරා ෆිත්තුන් තකුන් සලාමව මං ඉස්රායල ගුණ රංගල කුරීමා එබ මගුෆයිවේ කංකම ගේතෝ අදි බයික්කා ලුයිත විස්ලිබේ එවීම දැන් ඉස්රායල කොමසරක ගුණුන්තන්ගේ බොයි ඉතියෝපියා එහෙනම එහා ගයක් ගුණුන්තකේ ෆෙන්නා කන්නේ ඒ ඉතියෝපියා මිගෙන් ගොරණි එහෙන් හොරිහා ගොමතකකස් ගුණුන්තකේ මේ අනේ එවරක ගෙන් ගොළුගේ සියාසතේ ගේතෝ ඉස්රායල එකනි ගුළුමෙන්නෝ ඒක තිරේගේ බෝලේ තුර්කියා සම ගුණුන්තවර රංගල ඉතියෝපියා ඊරානාස් ගුණුන්තවර රංගල අරබින්නාස් ගුණුන්තවර රංගල දැන් ඉස්රායල් මිගේ තිරේ වදගෙන ඕනේ දැන් ඉස්රායල් මේ හදාගත කි ඉස්රායල් මිදන්නවා ખાસ ඉම්තියාස් තක ඉස්රායලෙන් වවේ හොලොංග ගොම්තෝගේ තෙරින් ලාෆ ලිබේ ඉම්තියාස් තක බේනු කොග්ගෙන් ඉස්රායල් මේ කන්තත මගෆයි කොද්දිනි දැන් ખાસකම් ඔබ ඉංගේත වර බොඩ මේ දඬුවරි කම්ගේ දායරාගයි ඔබ වර බොඩති ගුළුන්ත අදේගේ තුරුන් ඉස්රායල එක්ක මේ සොයකොෆවේ ඉතියෝපියාගේ මේ අනේ මගුතකා ඉන්ෆ්‍රාස්ට්‍රක්චර් බිනා කුරුම්ගා මේ ඉස්රායල් කොන්ෆ්ලික්ට් එකක් එහි වෙදිනුමුගේ එබ්බස්සුමගේ සොයකොෆ ඒක තෙරෙන් බයික් කාලේ එහි තවස් ඉස්රායල් දෙ දැන් මිදේ තෙරෙන් මෙවණි ගේතෝ මිදේ තෙරෙන් මෙවණි එකද මේ යමනන් ඉස්රායල් වර බාර බොංගලිය නෝ තවර ගදේ බොංගලිය නෝ මේ හෆ්තන් අදස් කුරි ඒ අනේ හුසින් ඉස්රායල් දෙන් හමලයක ගොලිගෙන් ඒක තෙරේග සන්නා එයාපෝර්ට්ස් හම හලා කොල්ලුමා හුදේදාග බන්දරු හලා කොල්ලුමා ඒ දුස්සරු ඒ ගාගන කම්මි මහුගේ හතර ෆහින් හිසාබු ඉංගේතෝ ඒ හිසාබු ගන්නක ඉස්රායල් ખાරජි වසීර් ජදරෝන් සායරවනි කුල්ලි ගොතකන් ඉතියෝපියා ගොස්ස ඒත ඉතියෝපියා ගොස් ඉතියෝපියා ખાරජි වසීර බද්දල් කොෆා මේ රැක්කඬා මේ බාබුල් මන්දබ් සරහද්දුග ටෙරරිස්ටුන්ගේ නුරක්කා බොඩේ කියාවා මේ එකමුගේ බෙජේ දෙගවම වර ගුලිගේ මසේ කරන් ඒවා කොති දක්කා ඒත එදෙන් මේ ඉෂාරක් කරණි හුසින්න ඒත ඉස්රායල් කි ඉස්රායල් දෙකොල් කොම්මේ ෆරාත කි ටෙරරිස්ටුන් කම සිවකුරා වර නුරක්කා තිර ගවමෙන් ඉස්රායල් කි ඒත එහෙනම ඉස්රායල් කි ඒක ජාතුක ටෙරරිස්ටු ගවමෙන් අදි වර බොඩ දුනියේග ටෙරරිසම් හිංගාස් ගවමෙන් අදි ටෙරරිසම් ග හරකත්තන් හිංගා බෙන්ගම් තක බොදු අලවම මසේ කරා වර නුරක්කා තිර වර එක මේ හීරත්තර ගවමෙන් අස්සු ඒත මේ එහෙවීම මිස්වාල් මේ අන්නනියසකල් ඉතියෝපියායා මේ අනේ ඉස්රායල් කම යොන්න ආම් ගොතක මෙන්න ඉක්සොදි ගුණුන්තක ඒත ඔයෆ කුල්ලියක මේ ටෙරරිසම් ගවාහ දක්කා කුල්ලියක මේ බාබුල් මන්දබා අරබි කණ්ඩා මේ අනේ මේ රැක්කඬුගේ සලාමත රක්කාතිරකම් ගවාහ දක්කා මිකහ කන්තතක කොෆි ඉස්රායල් එහෙම වෙගෙන් මේ කම්බොඩු මෙති ඇස්ස මේ ඉස්රායල් මොනි කොන්කම කුරන්තෝ ඒත මෙවරනි අනක ඉතියෝපියා බලව වදගෙන් මෙවරනි මේ අනේ හුසිනා එමිහුන ජස්සෝයාගෙන් කොම්මේ සකාරති ජහන්තෝ දෙන් ගොඩනවා ඉස්රායල් මෙති වර බොඩ මස්සතක කුරිමතිව මිහාර මේ හුසින් බජන කරවිගෙන් අනකල හුසිනා මේ ඇමරිකා ඩීල් හෙදීම ඉස්රායල් මේ ඉස්රායල් කන අහවස් නොදාවකන් කුරි එම මිකන්තක් ගනුක තෙරින් ලාෆා මේ කුරින් මේ ඔන්න නෝමල් මේ ඉතියෝපියා වුණ ගුණන්තහු ඉතුරු මිහාර ඉස්රායල් මෙදන සලාමති කන්තත්තක බේ ගොතුන් මේ ඉතියෝපියා මෂවරා කුරිකන් එබෙන්ගේ මේ මිදෙන්නේ ඉස්රායල් ખાරජි වසීර් මිදි හෆ්තාග මේ අනේ මෙවනි ගොස්ස කුල්ලි ගොතකන් ඉතියෝපියා ඒතෝ ඒ දොසර දිමාවනියස් මිදෙන්නේ එක යමන ඉස්රායල් වර්ගද හමලාතක දින් දොස්සර දිමායි ෆෝන්
දැන් මේ ඉතියෝපියා ලව හෝති මේ හංගුරාම කුරන් රේවි මේ ඉස්රායලුමුගේ බේණු මාදි මක්සදකේ කොබාතෝ දැන් හාස ගොතෙග අල්මේ බලාලන් ජය කරන්නේගේ මේ රේවුන් තර රාවාකමුගේ හැකිතකවස්
ආද මීගා ඉස්රායල් නෝස්තකුන් එබ බුනේ ඉස්රායල් වර මුහිම් තනකේ මිහාර ඉතියෝපියායි ඒත එවාගතකි හුසිනා මේ ඉස්රායල් දෙතරේග මියෝන් අරාරුන් ඒත මීගතෙන් ඇමරිකානු කුමිච්ච මේ අරාරුන් ගතරියන් ඇමරිකා වද්දාගෙන් යුරෝප් කොමත වද්දාගෙන් ඉස්රායල් මීගේ කල විහාස් ඉස්රායල මේක අසර කුඩවාගතකන් ඉස්රායල් මසේකුරි ඉස්රායල් දිෆාවුග හුසීන් නම් හමලා දෙනි ඇමරිකායේ ඒගොතක් හදාගෙන ඇමරිකාල වන්න කන්තක් කරමු මේ ගෙන්දී එන්දර කොවිගත කි ඇමරිකා ඉස්රායල් කර හේව සහනුලා මේ හුසීන ඩීල් හදායි ඩීල් හෙදී මහම ඉස්රායල් හම ශොකෙල් ලිව්ෆමියොත්ති ඊට ඉස්රායල්ගේ කුරීගේ මේ අනේ බුඩෝසීරකම මොෂේ යෝලුන්ස් බුනෆවේ මේ ඉස්රායල් මිල්බුනේ වරබුල් ශොකකි මිකම් මිහිම් මිවි නතනියාහුගේ සෝබුන්නියස් නතනියාහු ගොද්දුණු කුරුමා නතනියාහු මේ ට්‍රම්ප් දින් ෆුර්සත්තෝගා ඒන බේනු නොහිෆුමා අනේක ට්‍රම්ප් සිඩ්රුම් එකි කන්තත්තක් කරන් උළුමා මිකා කන්තත්තක ගුලිග වරබඩ ට්‍රම්ප් කෝෆාවි යේති එම ඉදුකොල් ෆරාතකුම් අදි නතනියාහු ඉදුකොල් ඉස්රායල්ගේ බයි ෆරාතකුම් වෙස් මේ යනේ ට්‍රම්ප් මෙහෙද්දේ ඩීල් ගේ zimma මෙල්වනි නතනියාහු බොලුග ඒ වාගතකි මිහාරස් අස්ලුග ඉස්රායල් මිහාරස මුසාහරත කරමු ගෙන්දේ මි හංගුරාමේ කි මිහාර කොරින්ජේ හෙච්ච නෝනේ මෙවරණි කි අනේ ගස්සා ගතිබි මේ රහීනු මිනුවන් නොකරවිගෙන නෝනේ ඒ රහීනු මිනුවන් කුරවිජ්ජේ ඩීල් හදාගෙන දෙ මිහාර කි කරන් හේ ඩීල් මි යනේ ඩීල් නහදාම හංගුරාම කොග්ගෙන් ඉස්රායල් වරබ්බඩ දුනි